Hello and welcome back. We are diving into a good, juicy topic today. The topic being feeling safe showing up online. I really want to dive in to the idea around why we women, solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, leaders of 6, 7, and 8-figure businesses, struggle with visibility. And I want to talk about how to overcome it. And I'm going to share my process with you because in the last few years, I've experienced a dip in my confidence. And I'm going to take you through the whole thing and why I'm on the other side of it now. So I want you to ask yourself, do you ever feel that pull to show up online, to share your voice, to create some content, to share of your message and your truth, and yet something inside you freezes up? Maybe you overthink every word, you hesitate to post, you over edit, or you avoid video altogether. I don't like my voice. I don't like the way I look. I need to lose a few pounds or strengthen myself before I show up online. If any of that sounds familiar, I just want you to know you are not alone. As you may know, I've worked with tens of thousands of women over the last few years, and this is a constant. And I feel like this is something we need to address as women because we think we're a unique snowflake and we're not. And so today we are going to talk about why visibility feels so scary and how you can feel safe showing up online and otherwise in a way that feels aligned and super empowering. So I want to start with a personal story. I have been there. While for more than a decade, I made myself very visible online. I was posting on Facebook, I think back to like 12, 15 years ago. I was posting every day, sometimes several times a day, doing lives, really showing up in an unapologetic way. Something shifted just a few years ago. And in full transparency, and you may have noticed it if you followed me for a while, in the last few years, I began to contract and go inside myself. And I went through a period where I was second guessing everything. My husband, my kids, my team, everybody was saying, Fabienne, it's time for you to show up online again. What's going on? And if I'm being super transparent, I was asking myself, what will people think? Will I say the wrong thing? What if I get criticized? What if the trolls come out? And honestly, these fears weren't just about social media. They ran much deeper. And it took me a long time to realize that my hesitation to feel fully seen online wasn't about the algorithm or the strategy. I mean, let's be honest. I've been teaching marketing for 25 years. I know what to do. Even if things change, I know what it is to just like put on the makeup, do the hair, show up, and give of your best self. But honestly, it was about my nervous system. It was about my conditioning and old fears that I didn't even realize I was carrying or I was still carrying, even though I've already done so much of the mindset work. And so I decided that my purpose was bigger than whatever was getting in the way, and that I didn't want to get to the end of my life without really impacting tens of thousands, if not millions more people. And so I took a mindset deep dive over the last few months, and everything has changed. And I want the same for you. So this is what we're going to talk about in this episode. We're going to unpack why so many women, perhaps even yourself, struggle with showing up fully online, how childhood experiences shape our fear of visibility, and most importantly, how to move through it so that you can share your message confidently, prolifically, and unapologetically. Because I get that why you're here and why you clicked to listen to this episode is there's a part of you, a big part of you that wants to be in service to so many more people, and you want to share your voice, but something's getting in the way. So let's talk about that. Why do women struggle with being seen online? I get that many men might struggle too, but I see it so much more within women. So let's talk about the root of visibility fears. I have witnessed that many women feel resistance to being seen because of subconscious fears of judgment, criticism, and rejection. So when people choose to work with me, I have their annual strategy calls with them. I am with them every week on Q&A calls. I spend 2 days quarterly with them. And sure, I share the strategy. This is how you write a book in 90 days. This is how you are prolific with your marketing. This is how you raise your rates, double, triple. This is how you get to multiple six figures and seven figures. The question that I've noticed is never about the strategy. The thing that gets in the way is the conditioning. It's the fear of judgment. It's that fear of criticism, the fear of rejection. Here's why. We have been conditioned to believe, especially as women, that it is safer to be small, to be liked, and to avoid rocking the boat. I just want to say that one more time for you. We have been conditioned to believe that it is safer and easier to stay small, to be liked, and to avoid rocking the boat. So, if you hesitate to post, or you delete your content, or you avoid video altogether, it's not procrastination. There's nothing wrong with you. It simply points to a deep-seated survival response. I would even call it a trauma response. And here are some of the internal narratives that you may be carrying around. Have you ever caught yourself saying this? What if people think I'm not an expert? That points to imposter syndrome. What if somebody disagrees with me or criticizes me? That points to a fear of rejection. What if I say the wrong thing or I do it wrong? That points to perfectionism. What if I get too much attention and I can't handle it? That is fear of success. And I just want you to ask yourself, which of these fears resonates with you the most? And where do you feel it in your body when you think about showing up online in a much bigger way than you're showing up now? This is key. Now, let's move into how childhood experiences shape our fear of visibility. And where does it come from? Well, many of our fears around being seen started in childhood. When I'm working with one of our members or a private client, or we're working in our weekly community Q&A calls, and someone brings up a resistance to doing something she knows she needs to do, I now ask, where did this fear come from? Tell me what happened before the age of 7, or tell me what happened around the age of 10 or 12. And almost every time there is either an adverse childhood experience or a little T trauma or some bullying or some things that I'll explain a little bit further that has us create a meaning around what's safe and what's not safe to do in our work. And if we can just go back and look at our childhood, we will see that there are some defining moments. And the reason it's important to be in a community or mentored in some way or another is because we can't see these blind spots on our own. I've noticed that in community, when we are witnessed by other wonderful people where we feel safe, we can pinpoint the exact moments of childhood, whether they were big moments or just passing moments, and determine exactly where that feeling of not feeling safe or that mindset shift happened, where we created a belief that this is not where we want to go. So if you were raised in an environment where you were taught to be quiet, to be polite, to be agreeable or to be nice, if your voice wasn't always welcomed or encouraged by your parents or in your schooling or your religious organization or in your friend group, if you were criticized when you spoke up or you expressed yourself, even with your clothing or just with your personality, you learned that attention wasn't safe. And then, as an adult, as a woman in business, visibility might feel threatening. And so I want to unpack the nervous system and visibility even more so you understand where this comes from and what you can do about it. So just know that our brain is wired to protect us. If speaking up got you in trouble as a child, then your nervous system now associates visibility with danger. Even if you know logically that showing up online is necessary for your business, you're going to feel resistance. And if posting online feels scary, your body is going to react as if you were in real danger, even if you're not. So if you felt nervous or you felt fidgety or anxious, or you decided to clean up your desk, the entire house, your fridge, instead of doing the thing that you know you need to do to increase your visibility, to reach out to more people who desperately need you, then there is good news. You see, these patterns can be rewired. You can teach your nervous system that it is safe to be seen, to be heard, and to be fully expressed. And this is what I've done with myself even deeper this time around, so I can feel safer getting out there in a much, much bigger way. And this is what I also do with those who choose to work with me. This is a game changer. And it's the thing that we were never taught about growing our businesses. Just a quick pause in our conversation to say that if this episode is resonating with you, and if you know that fear of visibility and perfectionism and not feeling enough is keeping you stuck in your business, in your income, in your reach, then I want to personally invite you to join me for a powerful 3-day online event happening May 6th, 7, and 8 called Mindset Deep Dive. This isn't just another webinar or surface level training. Over these 3 days together, we are going to go deep. We're going to rewrite old beliefs, shift your identity, and clear the mental and emotional blocks that have been keeping you from fully stepping into your next level of success, confidence, and visibility. And the best part is that the event is completely accessible. Early bird tickets go on sale next week for a super affordable price, but they are first come, first served. So make sure that you're watching your inbox from an email from me, because I want you to take fast action and grab your spot before they're gone. The new you, the one who feels safe and confident and powerful showing up in the world, is already inside you, sister. She's just waiting for permission. And in these 3 days, we're going to bring her out. So stay tuned. Check your email next week for the early bird link and get ready for a transformation. Now, let's dive back into today's episode. So how do you do it? Step number 1, regulate your nervous system first. Before going live or posting, you can use some calming techniques. You can do some deep breathing, inhale for 4, exhale for 6. You can do some tapping with EFT around the idea of I am safe being seen. You can shake out your nervous energy. You can listen to Taylor Swift, shake it out, shake it out. Just anything to get you to release some of the anxiousness and this idea of being nervous doing it. Number 2, just start small and build some safety along the way. What I've learned is that visibility is a muscle, right? You want to start with small, low stakes actions. Maybe if you haven't posted in a while, it's about posting a photo with a personal caption. Nothing too big, right? But doing it on a regular basis. Then, when you feel a little bit more comfortable, record a short, casual video, even if it's just yourself at first, and post that to your stories instead of, your regular social media. One of the things I did a while back was to share something without over editing or second guessing. In fact, I gave myself a week, just 7 days of posting in my stories every single day, 1 minute. And the rule that I had for myself was that I wasn't allowed to do a take two. So I would grab my phone, press record, do a 1 minute. And I knew that even if I flubbed it up or if I made a mistake, I was going to post it to my stories. I did that last summer, and I actually found it to be very easy because I had a role with myself, and I'm like, okay, it doesn't matter what I look like. It doesn't matter what I sound like. It's got to be under 1 minute, and it's got to be fully unedited. And that changes you, that builds your visibility muscle and just allows you to be you, right? So maybe that's what you can do. Challenge yourself to not edit for 7 days and put it in stories. Here's what I'm trying to get to. Every small action that you take rewires your brain to feel safer in visibility. If you understand the way the brain works, there are neural pathways in the brain. And the more you want a new habit to form, the more you want to start showing up and doing that thing. And over a short period of time, you're creating these new neural pathways that makes it feel safe to be seen. Step number 3, reframe fear as a sign of growth. Instead of seeing your resistance or your fear as a sign to stop, I want you to see it as proof that you're expanding, that you are growing, that you are becoming stronger. And just tell yourself, my nervousness means that I'm stepping out of my comfort zone and into my power. And the more I do this every day in every way, I'm getting stronger and stronger. Step number 4, set boundaries around your online presence. You don't have to be at first on every platform or sharing everything, right? Just protect your energy by just sharing what you feel is good for your target audience. Maybe it's not so much stuff about you. Maybe it's a tip, a strategy, something that happened to you that day that you feel would be really useful for the people who follow you. I also want you to think about protecting your energy by curating who you follow. If there are people who really trigger you, who make you question yourself or whether you can do this, do not follow them anymore. Surround yourself with people, even if it means in your feed, that give you confidence. And then, if I can just share this with you, set some screen time boundaries and limits. The more you're watching other people instead of showing up yourself, the more it affects your confidence. Okay? Step 5, find a safe visibility container. This is my recommendation to surround yourself with people who validate your voice. Do you have a friend group that you feel like you can do this with? One of the things I shared with one of my members of Bold Heart Woman was to show up every day in our WhatsApp group for 30 days and just share of herself. And as she was sharing with us, it created that new neural pathway. And she knew that we would be supportive of her and that we would validate and uplift her voice, right? So that's something that you can do. If you're not yet part of a private community or a mastermind or a support group or a business group that can help you feel safe showing up, consider this. I have learned that we women doubt ourselves in isolation, but when we are surrounded with a community of other women with big hearts and lots of healthy ambition, but who want us to succeed, we show up in a bigger way. That is what we do within Bold Heart. If you don't have something like that yet, consider getting in a business community that feels safe, knowing that you will be upheld, supported with love, right? I'm here for you if you ever want to work with me. What I noticed in my own personal journey to full self expression is that I was really held back because I was heavily bullied as a child, right? I didn't have friends for years. When I moved from France to the US, I was just like a total fish out of water. I did not belong. And so when I was bullied, when I was outcast, I didn't have friends for years. And that informed how I needed in my young age to feel like I belong. So I shape shifted. I changed who I was. I watched my every word just to fit in. I changed my clothing, even though I wore hideous things that I did not like, because frankly, I wanted to fit in. And I don't mean to say that the others were wearing hideous things, but it just wasn't me. The need to be liked and the fear of saying the wrong thing just led to this hyper perfectionism. And then I wasn't to myself at the end of the day. And I realized over time, with doing deep mindset work, deep healing, I had a lot of things to heal. And that's why I've done so much. You may have a lot less to heal than I did, but I realized that the only way for me to help more people through my work and to really live out my life's purpose was to heal my nervous system so that I could be braver than my fear. And that's what I want for you. So I'm sharing my personal healing protocol in my next 3-day event. It's called the Mindset Deep Dive. And if you want to join us, you can do the same. It's not difficult and it can happen in 3 days. So on a practical level, here's what helped me step into visibility again. 1, realizing that my message mattered more than my fears, right? I started thinking, okay, my business is actually not about me. My business is about all the people, the legions of people that I'm here to serve. I have to go beyond my fears and notice that being of service matters so much more. Number 2, take imperfect action. Posting even when I wasn't looking perfect, sounding perfect, didn't have the right topic. Just your energy changes people. Number 3, learning to trust that the right people will resonate with you and that the wrong people don't matter. And again, nothing wrong with those people, but they're not who you're talking to. There are legions of people who need to hear from you. And so this is why doing the mindset deep dive and healing your past wounds and regulating your nervous system is more important than anything else that comes up. The biggest shift for me is that I decided to stop filtering myself to be palatable for everyone. I'm not going to be everyone's cup of tea, and that's fine. I needed to start speaking directly to the people who needed me most. That's what matters most for you too. And that's what made me very much look forward to showing up again in a big way and just getting out there and sharing my message. It's like I needed to heal even deeper layers of mindset and of the healing onion, if you will, to then go out and help you and help other women do the same. And I just feel so much better, and I want you to feel so much better. So just to recap what we've talked about, the fear of visibility is real, right? But it's not the truth. It's just a pattern, and you can break that pattern. We just need to interrupt it and give you some new tools for showing up. Also, I just want you to know that you're not alone in this. I think that for me, I questioned myself like, oh my God, what's happened to me? I feel so alone. But I noticed that other people were feeling this way too. And you can rewire your brain to feel safe showing up. It can happen in a matter of just a few days, or you can take a whole healing protocol and just do something little every day. I do 15 minutes in the morning and 15 minutes in the evening. And it's miraculous what happens. Your voice matters, my dear friend. And the people who need you can't find you if you're hiding. It's time to stop making ourselves a secret and be in service to the people who need us. So, just with some encouragement, the version of you that is fully expressed and unapologetic and magnetic is already inside of you. She's just waiting for permission to come out and be in service. And the only permission she needs is yours to do the work to make her feel safer. So I just want to ask you, what is one small visibility action that you can take today? I'm not saying you're going to go from whatever you're doing now to just getting out there, all day, every day, 17,000 times a day. What's one small visibility action you can take today? Maybe it's you go post something, record a short video, share a personal story, just one step towards feeling safer being seen. Use some of the nervous system regulation ideas that I gave you today. And if today's episode resonated with you and you're listening to this on your phone, screenshot the episode, share it on Instagram or Facebook, and tag me. Let me know what's one fear around visibility that you're working through. Put a review in this podcast and just share with me what you want me to speak about next. In the end, it's time for you to start showing up as your most powerful self while feeling safe doing so. I'm here as your champion, believing in you, loving you fiercely as you do. I'm always here for you. Lots of love. See you next time.